So there has been a bit of quote-unquote controversy in the Dragon Ball fandom regarding a recent Chris Sabat interview. Basically, he says that Goku is a selfish character, and I'll actually read it to you here. So, yeah, let's have a tournament. Goku, trillions of people could die. Yeah, but it would be fun, the, interviewer says. And then Chris Sabat goes, exactly, and I think that's one of the few times, I love Super, and I especially love that moment in Super where you actually get a picture of how Goku's selfish behavior can really affect people. Yeah, it always works out, luckily, but he's never afraid to let his friends and family suffer for what he wants. So that's got everyone in a tizzy about, why is Chris Sabat saying this about Goku? He's clearly wrong. And Chris Sabat has a very dry sense of humor. I don't know the man personally, obviously, but I do know people that know him on a, at least, semi-personal basis, and I also know that, Chris Sabat during interviews and tweets and other, convention videos, videos where he's at conventions and stuff, meeting fans and whatnot, that he's very sarcastic and tongue-in-cheek, and he has a very dry sense of humor. He's very similar to me. I love, dry, sarcastic sense of, humor. So he was most likely being sarcastic, and if not sarcastic, at least tongue-in-cheek. But if Chris Sabat, is not being tongue-in-cheek and versus his actual stance on Goku as a character, it's just his opinion. It's like, oh well. And the people that are saying, oh, the Dragon Ball Super dub, they better not say that it's Goku's fault that the tournament is, there and he wanted this. That won't happen. Dragon Ball Super, the actual Tournament of Power dub, is not going to reflect Chris Sabat's views on the character. That is a ridiculous claim, and that won't happen at all, because there are writers they have to go through. There are other producers that are on board with the Dragon Ball Super project. There are writers that, send their scripts in, and, Chris Sabat has to approve them. And yes, Chris Sabat is a producer, but he's one of several producers at Funimation. So Chris Sabat is not the end-all be-all in terms of the Dragon Ball Super dub, and even his, views, even though he does have pull up the company, even his views, his personal views about Goku as a character will not get in the way of the Dragon Ball Super dub, because Funimation will make the most accurate dub possible and the best dub that they can, and they have been doing a good job so far. Obviously, if, Chris Sabat's views about Goku do end up in the Dragon Ball Super dub, then that is worthy of criticism. That is perfectly fine to criticize because it was not in the Japanese version. That, Goku, it's, Goku's fault and he wants, everyone to die at the mercy of, having a tournament, having a badass tournament. If that is in the English dub, then that's all fine to criticize. But I bet Chris Sabat is just joking, or at least, saying a tongue-in-cheek joke. The whole, interview is set up perfectly as a joke. Yeah, let's have a tournament. Goku, trillions of people could die. Yeah, but it'll be fun. The question is a joke. It's comical. But anyway, even if he's not being comical, even if he's playing us completely straight and he's completely serious, that's just his opinion on the character. Goku, Sean Schemmel, the voice of English dub Goku, well, before there was Ian James Collette and Peter Kalamas, but anyway, Sean Schemmel, the main voice of Goku in English, he had that whole debacle about Goku, Black, and Super Saiyan Rose, and why the British accent exists within, the Super Saiyan transformation, the Super Saiyan Rose transformation, and that form and whatnot. He had his views about how it worked. Obviously, it was complete headcanon. Did that mess up the Dragon Ball Super dub? No, it didn't. And just because Chris Sabat is higher up in the Dragon Ball Super, dubbing world, I guess, and Funimation, with the Dragon Ball property, that doesn't mean he's going to let his views of what he thinks a character is like cloud the dub, just to appease his views and to appease his agenda. Just the fact that I'm saying the word agenda about a fucking anime is absurd. This outrage culture within this Dragon Ball fandom fandom is getting quite irritating. First, we had the time to make the donuts, and then, just several other issues arised, especially with the dub. This outrage culture is becoming extremely ridiculous, and it reminds me of this Kanzenshuu pseudo-intellectual clique that get outraged over anything that the dub voice actors say or do. If Chris Sabat pissed the fucking wrong way, Kanzenshuu will be bitching about it. So just my final note on the matter, Chris Sabat during the interview, he's probably being sarcastic. If he's not, that's fine too. It's just his opinion, maybe the wrong opinion, but either way, it won't reflect the Dragon Ball Super dub as a whole, and if it does, that's worthy of criticism. But the fact that people are getting outraged over this is just ridiculous, man, and honestly, Chris Sabat has been working in the franchise, long enough to really, know these characters, and even if he's wrong about Goku in this instance, being a completely selfish character, he's not entirely wrong either, because Goku is a selfish character. He's also a not selfish character. He's a human. Like, at the end of the day, even though he's a Saiyan, he does possess a ton of human traits. He's a selfish character. Humans are selfish, but also people are not selfish, and he has unselfish, motives as well. He's a character. He's a three-dimensional character, and he has these phases of being selfish and being not selfish. He's not... he's more complex than people really think, and it's kind of ridiculous pigeonholing this character, saying, oh, he's either not selfish or 100% selfish. It's completely ridiculous. And Chris Sabat, he was probably just being tongue-in-cheek, honestly, but, even the interview question is set up like a joke. But anyway, that's gonna do it for me. Please make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Goodbye. I'd also like to quickly point out that Chris Sabat is not the devil, as some anime fans may think, and he's, a voice actor, and he's a director first. He's not the devil incarnate. So, yeah, my thumbnail is a complete joke. By the way, I don't think Chris Sabat is a bad person, but, yeah, I don't know. People are just getting outraged and calling, Chris Sabat, names and stupid, and he shouldn't work on the show, which is just absurd, man. Like, why would you tamper with someone's livelihood like that, man? Like, it's fine to have an opinion, but Jesus fucking Christ, mate. So, yeah, thumbnail is a complete joke.